Hey, hello, and welcome everybody to Free, the beginner Get to Guild tournament put on by Kick Esports. I am Nogaremi, and I am joined with what side are you on? You're on this side. What's going on?
Yeah, it's always reverse. I don't remember, but I'm NT. What's up, everybody? So glad to be here for week 2. I unfortunately was able to miss week 1, but I did watch the VOD. I'm really excited for week 2 because now that we're the beginner side of things, week 2 is where we get to see progress.
Yeah, we really get to see how people are going to evolve. I know we're in the top 16 now, and we're getting some, I think the big run back from last week where we have Grinflash and Ganser are coming through again in top 16, so they're not even meeting in top 8 this week. So we're going to see who's going to take that, and of course who's going to, really push through all the way to top 8 and grand finals.
Which, as a reminder to everybody, I do have my notes right here. Gantz's home was our winner of last week. He took it first place with the May against Santaka Shaku, who was a Nago, and Grimflash taking that third place spot with Zato, which I'm really surprised we didn't have a single repeat character in last week's top 8, which I think is fantastic considering how small the game actually is in terms of a roster.
Yeah, but there was no Geo though. We got to see if we can get a Giovanna in there this week.
Of course, the Geo commentator. Get out of here. But I'm actually really surprised.
Get out of here.
Okay, all right. I see how it is. But yeah, I'm really surprised there hasn't been a single Geo because I think Geo is actually one of the strongest characters right now. She's got a lot of great tools that just really bully a lot of characters. Granted, she doesn't have the best DP because it's only, I think, upper body invuln rather instead of like full invuln like Volcanic Viper, but she's got a lot of nasty rushdown. Seth, our current streamer right now, he and I ran sets last night, and he knows a lot of nasty stuff. So I'd like to see more Geo players come up in this beginner side.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what's really been exciting as more people have discovered the uses for fast RCs and stuff like that. You can get some pretty dirty mixes with a lot of the characters about the 50-50 overhead or lows if it's like an IAD kind of situation. So you got to be really, really careful on your defense and how you're approaching that. So we're going to see who has to tough it out and who has the guts to stay with it.
Yeah, a lot of the fast RC 50-50s are honestly rather high level. I've been seeing a lot of Japanese players posting that, so I don't think we're going to see that today, but I really do hope to see more RC cancels and more RC mix-ups from our players today now that they've had another week to dive into more of their characters, because I would hope that a lot of people have been doing their homework for this week so they can have an edge on everybody else, because this is a seasonal tournament, so it's not like, oh, I won 1 week, I'm done. No, you got to keep it going.
Yeah, you got to keep the pressure going. And who we have on pressuring here, we got Crow versus Guts here. It's going to be Soul versus Nagaryuki, and that's going to be pretty interesting. How do you feel about fighting Naga as a Soul player yourself?
So Nago, I think, is a 6-4 for Soul. It's a really bully or be bullied situation, but the Soul has the advantage because Nago has that blood meter, which Crow has already built up to 2.5 bars. So already got to be careful about that.
Yeah, and when you're talking about this blood meter, what is it going to be doing in terms of making things scary, right?
Right, so it's a lot of Fukyo, which Fukyo being that teleport. Oh no, already going into Blood Rage. So good burst, because that was punishable. And we got the baseball swing. Get on out of here already.
Yeah, but what that blood's going to do once it's full, it's going to drain Nagaryuki's health rather rapidly, but the damage from it is also going to be kind of ridiculous if Crow is able to find those hits.
Right, and as Crow just did, he had a command grab on the Soul. The command grab drastically reduces the blood gauge and the raising of it for a short period of time. He's gonna go into Blood Rage as soon as his combo ends again.
I think it's like a little mini burst, so if you're next to Nago, it's going to wear it out rather quickly, but Guts just sitting on the other side of the screen waiting for the blood to run out, doesn't want to overcommit and get slapped with the big baseball bat again.
And that was actually the best decision I think Guts could make, because no matter what, Nagoriyuki will take 50% of his life. So Guts was already really down on life advantage. By Crow going into Blood Burst, he evened it up. And then Guts taking advantage of that gap with the second Blood Burst.
Yeah, you can really dash in and punish that blood burst. And here we're just seeing Guts getting a rather strong start, but interrupted, and now Crow getting that command grab again, lowering that blood a little bit, trying to get some pressure established.
I really like how aggressive Crow is being. This is how you have to fight Soul. because as soon as Soul blocks a far slash, that's your time to try and establish the Fukio mix-ups.
A little bit of a drop on the combo, but the counter had the burst if you wanted to stay alive, because this Soul's going to do some damage, but this counter hit, breaking the wall, going to get some extra meter here and some positional advantage.
It's got to be a little bit careful. Crow does have 50 meter for reversal. Nice conversion, but doesn't use the second RC, but still is able to close it out with the far slash.
Yeah, just enough on range on that tip of the punch. Going to give game 1 to Guts. This is still first to 2 stops tonight, so we won't hit first to 3s until top 8.
Correct. So Crow's got to find something to do right here. See, this is smart. This is the good pressure that you need to establish this Nagoriyuki, but you don't want to get too crazy with it because he's going to really fill that blood gauge a lot faster. Yes, you do get buff normals, but going into that third bar, if you're not ready for it, you might just give up the round.
Yeah, I mean, not only is your health draining super fast, but you expose yourself if you don't hit it right. But here we go. Far slash round start, got a counter hit, but Crow answered right back swinging. That's the big thing, right? You're Naga, you have these huge limbs. You want to kind of control that neutral space and not let Guts, play their soul game, right? Don't let them push that far slash. Don't let them hit these sick corner combos. Are you breaking the wall again?
I've seen 2 schools of thought for Nagoriyuki versus Soul, and it's either Nago goes just straight in, or he treats this match like Faust, where he's only trying to be as far as possible poking, because then the onus is on Soul to get in. And that's not always the easiest thing to do, but here's another counter hit far slash that's going to convert. Crow doesn't have burst, doesn't quite kill. Oh, he does kill. I'm learning from a beginner tournament right here. I didn't know you could 6 HS after Bandit Bringer like that. Well done to Guts.
I didn't think the 6H would do that much damage. Oh, try to dash up regular throw, didn't get punished. You can get counter hit off of throws in this game.
Yes, you can. Very dangerous. Something I like to see Guts do a little bit more is throw at 6S as Soul, because that does cover a lot of space and can shut down a lot of Nago's startup. Because Nago doesn't have a button faster than I think 10 or 11 frames from far range. But this HMC is desperate. Yep, easy jump over and punish.
Yeah, but this blood meter about to fill. It doesn't matter because Crow's going to seal it. Just push and slash, heavy slash there. Now ties it a game apiece.
Heavy Mob Cemetery is a great whiff punisher, but I do not recommend doing it against anybody who has 50 meter. Because if they have 50 meter, they can mash RC, get a PRC, and jump right out. But it was still great thinking by Guts to try and utilize that kind of meter.
Yeah, maybe he was hoping that the blood meter would pop and he would catch the recovery of it, but he's in this situation here and getting clipped here. Thankfully no meter to hit the big confirm, but look at the life that drained too. Already down to about 30% as Crow pressuring in this corner, trying to get Guts to flinch, and there's a big counter, but no follow-up.
But Guts already showing a bit of matchup knowledge, knowing that the second part of far slash slash, the Rekka, is punishable with 5k. It's -8, and 5k from Soul is a 3-frame setup for the knee and the 5-frame for the foot. There it is. Good confirm. RC, yes. Close it out.
Excellent recognition. And had the drift there too, right? Not always the easiest thing to make sure that you're inputting dash the right way. Definitely got to use the dash button for those kinds of situations. I feel not using the dash button in this game for your drift RCs, you will have some hell of execution.
Yeah, fast RC and drift RC is just a lot of things that even veteran players still have to get used to. I haven't even incorporated into my own game yet. But here we go. Guts confirming off of the Bandit Revolver, bursting right out, doesn't want to deal with it.
Oh, dropped the combo. That could have been big, had full meter on deck.
This is scary for Guts. Oh no, that's the punish.
Oh, but dropped it. Not the right way to go. Gonna YRC just to get the pressure off. Go back to this neutral game.
Bro's got to be extremely careful. Oh, but Guts ran right in. He was about to hit Blood Burst.
It's always the ticking time bomb that you're running into there. But oh my goodness,
run him down with far slash. That's how we do it, Monkey Soul. We out here being the gorilla. It's exactly how I play, so I love to see it.
Okay, but right in, slid in the DMs.
Oh, he knew the route. That was smart, but unfortunately a little too far. YRC counter hit. Can't be pressing buttons like that.
Right back at you, and this time Guts is the one pushing buttons. Just one more touch, who's gonna take it? Guts gets the good hit, but has to follow up.
Throws him one more chance. Oh no, but he tries to press on the gun flame.
Man, it's gonna be quite unfortunate there for Crow. Not out of it yet, but down in losers. Still one match away from that top 8, but Guts gonna move forward. Looking kind of, there were some rough spots, but definitely had the guts to push through.
I think both players did a lot of great things. Again, this is a beginner's tournament, but we can tell already that these players are improving. Crow was using a lot of the Fukio bite mix-ups, whereas Guts was using a lot of the RC cancels to try and get the corner carry. A lot of smart stuff from both players. And I really, really already appreciate the use of YRC. And it's something I don't even do, but YRC is going to be imperative for defense in this game.
Yeah, it's something so good. If you've seen some of this stuff, if you're lucky enough to block some stuff, you just gotta like try to get out of the mix. You don't want to hold it anymore because it's just not a great situation. You are getting pressured sometimes non-stop if you don't know how to get out of it, and the YRC is just going to be a great way to be like, okay, I acknowledge you have the pressure. I'm in some blocks then. I'm just going to spin this 50 bar. We're going to see if I can push my button, get a hit. If not, I'll push anyway, reset a little bit, and we'll see how it goes down.
And more importantly, not every character has a DP. So Soul obviously has a DP, but Nagoriyuki doesn't have a DP. Giovanna has like a half DP. Ramathal, Faust, Axel, none of these characters DPs. So by utilizing the meter in that way, that can give them the breathing room to start running their own game.
Yeah, I think it does also bring in this interesting, risk reward of like, okay, if I YRC here, if I find my next hit, I might not be able to get a combo or I might not be able to kill because I chose to spin the meter to get out of the mix. But on the vice versa, you're alive and not getting pressured anymore. So I feel like there's definitely a benefit to spinning meter in those situations.
And one really important thing to recognize with this game is it kind of gives you a lot of tension. There have been often times where I spend easily 150 tension in a single round, and that's not even including positive bonus. So you really don't want to be stingy with your meter. It's meant to be used pretty frequently, especially when you get positive bonus.
Yeah, it's not only is there positive bonus and like your button's just building a ton, movement building a ton, but it goes away at the end of every round. So if you're not using it in that round, I mean, what are you gonna do with it, right? Like it's not like Street Fighter, it's not gonna carry over. You're not gonna get it for some other kind of situation later on. It's use it and abuse it is the kind of the motto that you should go with. I know from the region that I'm from, if you ended the round and you had meter left that you could have spent to get out of a situation, to kill or do whatever, if you didn't spend it, people would literally say, bro, why didn't spend your meter? Use this resource that you have. It's going away, right? You have no reason to be conservative with it.
Right, and this is not like Street Fighter, so there's no meta game of, do I want to carry this amount of meter into my next rounds? Why? Yeah. Just spend it all. Because it's the second you move forward, you have meter. And what's really important is that also applies to like FD braking, which isn't really 100% necessary, which to explain FD braking, in older gear, once you started dashing, you couldn't stop and block for I think 3 or 4 frames. So you had to use FD to stop yourself. This game doesn't have that. But if you don't FD brake, you do have momentum from dashing.
Yeah, and so that can definitely be a scary thing. It doesn't happen to I don't personally try to FD break too much in this game, just playing Giovanna. I'm kind of flying across the screen anyway. I'm committed.
See, I have to admit, I hope no one says soul downplay, but there are a couple times where, like, if I'm fighting someone like Nago, I do need to FD break because I need to make sure I stop at a very specific point to not get clipped by something like Far Slash, so that I can then do my own Far Slash back and maybe get a counter hit.
And it's definitely the mentality where you kind of have to play it out, figure out these matchups little by little to see, oh, this is the spacing for his Far Slash, this is the spacing for his heavy slash, right? And this is where not only where I can whiff punish these at these ranges with these buttons, it's also, recognizing that your opponent wants to push those buttons at those ranges, or sometimes they're a little bit different, right? Some Nagos might wait until you're a little bit closer until they push some of their buttons. Some might sit all the way at the tip. It really varies depending on the player and their tendencies and their habits.
And something I think I will feel becomes more important with this game is Wake Up Abare. Because a lot of characters, such as Giovanna and Soul, have run cancelable moves. So Soul's 5k. I don't remember which one of Geo's is run cancelable, which you could probably tell me. But it's very common that a lot of these characters will just hit a single button, run cancel, run forward, throw. So you either have to know to jump out or just simply Abare. Which Abare being mashing, which is the very nice term for mashing.
Yeah, no, I've made it so far with Geo. There's so much I don't know and that I have to learn about. I'm in the same boat as a lot of these people. And in Free, this is really my first deep dive into a Guilty Gear game. So I've played, I've played Plus R, I've played some XX, I've played Xrd, but I always play different characters and I never play them much. So I'm always across the board. So like Plus R, I'm playing Cliff, and Xrd, I'm playing Elfel, and then now I'm playing Geo. So I'm all over the board in terms of characters and play styles. I'm just pushing buttons, having fun. But this game, it's weird how enjoyable it is when you're comparing it to all the other ones. Like, because there's stuff that I don't want to know in Plus R that you kind of have to know when you're getting to the upper echelons. And I'm sure it'll get there with this game, but at the entry level, getting the game going, it's so much fun to just come in and play the game and not feel like I have to battle against, veterans of 15 years in the game and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I was saying earlier, the veterans, we're all, I'm not considering myself a veteran by any means, but the veterans and, other fighting game players from other series, not even just, being brand new to fighting games, we're all learning the same system that you guys are. And I was explaining to a couple of the people in Low Kick that week 1 is probably the best time you can get into any fighting game because everybody's in that mode of discovery. I'm sure if you guys have Twitter, you've been seeing clips on clips on clips of tech being found, and this is where the community really comes together the most. So if you're wondering, should I buy Strive right now? Is there a point to me getting? Yes, absolutely, because the community is all out there grinding, learning, playing games. You can find anybody anywhere right now, and thankfully this game has rollbacks. So if you're looking for matches, you're gonna find it anywhere, and you don't have to worry. Are they within 50 miles of me? Are they stayed away? Are they on the coast? Don't matter anymore.
Yeah, and that's honestly one of the big parts of this is you're not as limited, right? Because while the game is still divided between PlayStation and PC, the availability of rollback means that there's still a breadth of people to play against. And with it being a new game that everybody's excited about, we have seen just how many players have been invested in at least the week 1 or 2 to get their hands on it, see what they can do, see if they're going to play the game or not. And I think that is great. The formative time of this game, when the meta is undeveloped, there's still time to mess around and find your own footprint in the game, find out what you can do in the game, and really make your mark. I mean, that's definitely something that is worth investing some time into.
And something I know that FNTR and Chris Chaos explained during week 1 is that Guilty Gear is a game of self-expression. The Guilty Gear is very freeform. There is no rigid way to play Guilty Gear. Just because you play Soul doesn't mean you have to be constant rushdown. Just because you're playing Nagoriyuki or Faust doesn't mean you have to be defensive. It's however you want to interpret your character. So if you see a character that you think is cool, play that character. It doesn't matter where they stand, it's how you want to express yourself. So it's not like, oh, I need to go watch these match footages of, the top level players and mimic them. No, by no means.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some times, and it's not to say you don't have to mimic people, but definitely picking up, spend the time to watch the tech, spend time watching the pro players that are winning, more often than not, because they know something, right? They know how to find a W, right? Which is very important, right? They're doing something right and optimizing in some part of their game. But in terms of when and where to use it, you can definitely be creative in that kind of style, right? So if you find that dash slash for Geo is what you want to kind of base your game around, figure out a way to make dashing scary against your opponent, right? It's going to be a lot of just figuring out what that's going to be. I do like Grim Flash in the chat saying about a zone with some Geo. Yo, man, it's not impossible, but it's gonna be
actually
rough.
We have Grim Flash coming up right now with Zato. Oh, versus Gantz. So this is the match that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the run back. So Gans won it both times. I think 3-0 the first time and then 3-1 the second time. And so it'll be interesting, right? And Grimflash has, been a faster pace at Zato, right? He hasn't been. I distinctly remember watching last week and being like, and hearing, I think Dan say, "Oh, we're expecting the slower play out of, Zato, right? Like he's gonna try to zone or whatever." And Grimflash just started going in. I was like, "This is fantastic."
And I'm really surprised that we even have a Zato in free, because Zato is more often than not considered the most difficult character because of Eddie. But here's Grimflash doing extremely well.
Yeah, Eddie's going to be the little puppet character that you see getting summoned here, right? The leapfrog, giving some plus frames over to Grimflash, getting this corner combo going. Look at this, spinning the super too. The wall break? Absolutely.
Incredibly smart, because Grim knew that wasn't going to wall break, but he knew that he had the meter to get the wall break with the super and even get the Eddie meter back.
Oh, and got the hit, but couldn't get the full confirmation. You gotta be careful, you're just a pixel.
What a block on that overhead.
Yo, and he got the command grab. Dude, Grimflash going in at the end. Like, he made that full comeback, right? He was sitting down at like 10% health and just gave it to him.
Yeah, not even that. Grim ate a full dust launch combo, which easily takes over 50%.
Been the Grim show, but now Gans getting the throat, starting their own pressure here, and you see Grim just FD to build some space for themselves, but Gans calling it out in the next situation.
I really like how Gans is mixing up his offense for this game. He's not trying to do strings. He's doing single button into run-up throw.
Yeah, and it's something that you do when you notice that your opponent is going to FD, right? Because they're going to try to just push you out and start their own offense. So if you do a different string or a different button and then dash up, it's going to be, a different kind of flow that's going to give you an opening. But nice burst here from Gans getting out of that corner.
So there it is again, single button into run-up throw. Scary situation, YRC to get out and throw. Not quite enough, hit the drill with the meaty setup. YRC back, get off me. Grimflash jumping back, getting the final hit. Again, both these players utilizing that YRC absolutely amazingly.
Yeah, especially in these dire situations, like they press it and your opponent's like in that holy cow moment, like, oh my goodness, what is like I just got YRC, what is gonna happen next? But yo, Gans did not like the look of that round, trying to get something going at the beginning of this one.
Grim trying to poke his way out of that corner, trying to get the Eddie set up, but not quite tight enough. Gans able to jump out, but Grimflash throwing back in the corner with the air throw. Smart stuff. Here we go, Totsugeki spams.
Yo, you gotta love the Japanese, right?
I really do prefer hearing Totsugeki versus Charge.
Yo, but here we go. Nice slide under the frog and getting some pressure going too. Try to double overhead. Oh my goodness. Grim up flash, up backing for their life.
Grim got the corner again. Not quite enough to splat. Oh, there it is. Got clipped by Frog, so that did give a splat. Not quite enough to kill. Got the 50 meter though. Might try and do something. YRC forward. Tries to anti-air. Hits him with Invite Hell.
So much happened right at the end of the round. Oh my goodness. One thing with the wall break is if you're already pushing a button, sometimes you can't like stop and do your super, because Grim would have loved to have just gotten the kill with the meter and not have to go across the wall and get the next mix going, but found it anyway and looking good at the beginning of this round with this corner here.
Go the sword super to break, so we're gonna get the positive bonus and full Eddie meter.
And that Eddie meter is going to be super important for keeping up this pressure, but Spinta immediately got the command grab though, and that's going to let the Eddie meter fully recharge.
And YRC's out of it. What does he got here? The wall break again, going back into positive bonus.
He just left it. Oh, he's already back. Came down with the button, and that's 2-0 for Grimflash. Definitely did the homework after losing six games last week, and that's going to be rapid.
Yeah, that was incredibly well done by Grim. You could definitely tell that he did that homework, and that's exactly what I was saying right at the beginning of the stream. This is week 2. This is the time that you have to go lab your situation. You had a full week. I don't want to hear any excuses why you didn't start labbing.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was some terrific Zato gameplay, right? And it wasn't, slow. It was definitely like, I'm in your face. You're dealing with all of this all the time, and you better hope you know what mix I'm going for, because I'm not letting up off the gas. So really good stuff out of Grim. And Gans, was the winner last week. I wonder what else they have in the take. Maybe riding on their laurels a little bit too much.
I don't know about that one. I feel like Zato is a very big question mark matchup for a lot of people. So maybe it's just this time Gantz is going to have to go into the lab himself and go figure out what Grim was doing, whereas Grim went in the lab last week to figure out what Gantz was doing. But now we got a Soul and Milia.
Yeah, so this is going to be Mega Primus versus Tannenboom. I was going to say Tannenbaum, but no, definitely Tannenboom. Getting into got the Milia on screen.
Which I'm not sure we actually saw any Milia last week. So Milia is an interesting character because she has some of the fastest mobility, just like Chip. And she has what's known as set play, which is, you get a knockdown and you make a force block situation to run your game even more.
Yeah, it's going to be mostly through the disc if they can find like a sweet knockdown. The Mega Prime is not given an inch in that round. Just took it to Tannenboom the entire time.
And this is the big problem with Millie, is that she has the second lowest defense modifier in the game. So if she gets touched, like, she get hurt real bad.
She got grabbed out of the little...
What a shimmy!
Just got the head on weight, but didn't believe in it. But here we go, Chance. I like the aggressive burst just to keep the pressure going here on Tannenboom in the corner. But look at this, dived right in, got the hit.
Mega Promise, unfortunately, misspacing the 5K, so it gives Tannenboom a perfect opportunity to run their game. YRC out, Bandit Bringer.
Yo, got mixed on the other side. Just needs one more touch after this combo.
Oh, the PRC to bait the 6P out. Oh, yeah, that I'm pretty sure caught the recovery. Yep, there's the punish. Yeah, Bad Moon is not a very good move to whiff.
No, it has a long... Listen, they've learned to give that move a instant overhead. They've learned to give it some recovery.
Yeah, I want to say it's -20 on block even, so yeah, you don't want to use that without confidence.
Or at least without me there. Yeah, at least PRC if you're gonna do it. But nice throw. Gonna get the set going. Not quite out of range, but pushed himself into it anyway.
He swung himself into the disc.
That's what surprised me. Look, I like the burst, getting the pressure off, trying to find their own little momentum.
I really appreciate the use of that feint, because that's the second level of Yomi with Soul, is whether or not he's gonna let that gunflame rip or feint it.
The extended combo. I knew the range to do the Viper Wrap, but look at this, finding the feint, working again.
Tannenboom's just gonna run over right now. That could have been it, but didn't quite confirm.
Dude, I'm loving Mega Primus right now, and he's going to take it rapidly with the perfect to close out the second game.
Yeah, that's one unfortunate thing for Millie, is if you don't know how to start running your game, you're just going to get run over yourself because you don't have the HP to play around and figure it out. So I hope Tannenboom takes this moment to, realize some things that Millie can do, simply taking advantage of air dashes, because she is a unique character that I believe has 2 air dashes, or is it 3?
Yeah. So I believe she can air dash twice or air dash and then double jump, right? So that's going to be another good mix for her to get going. And it's really about that defense, right? You are eventually going to get touched if you're not able to find that first hit. It's about how you can mitigate the damage after that as well. So you definitely want to make sure, like, if you're holding on the meter, that you're YRCing, you're bursting, you're trying to get out of these situations that are causing you a lot of damage, so that you can continue playing your game and not somebody else's, because you never want to play somebody else's pace for very long.
Yeah, absolutely. Milia is a character where she wants to turn the game into a one-player game. You don't want to let your opponent do anything at all, unless you're specifically baiting something like a DP.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But we're finally getting a Geo on the screen. Is going to be Vandal M versus Soul. So I believe Vandal is the Geo. And then we have Kai coming in on the other side. They're letting the intros rock very in.
Yeah. Interesting to see a Kai.
A little bit. He can be a little bit more complicated in certain ways than Soul, right? But definitely has longer ranges, can definitely poke a bit more and feel more confident in those ranges. And the new mechanic and this Guilty Gear of lightning being added to people, it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out.
So with that shock state, it is applied by a couple different specials. One being Stun Edge, which is projectile. I don't know the name of this new 214S, but it's the downward strike. Those all add shock state, and when you block certain other attacks, like its flip kick, that move right there, it becomes plus.
Terrifying. Yeah, but we're already going into it. Soul got some really good pressure in that corner. Gonna red RC and get some, trying to get the mix going. But Vandal pressing out, trying to get their own offense going here and finally jump to throw that. They do get counter hit. But man, it's just going to be such a life deficit. Soul is not letting up. Super, no recovery on it.
Yeah, there's absolutely no recovery. It's still your turn.
Listen, you got to love it. Got the throw, has meter now, going to flip kick. How's this meter going to get used here for Vandal? Can definitely use it to, red RC into a confirm.
Gotta hit the Abare, counter hit, confirm.
Yo, BRC after? The swag?
For me, I actually drum my keys all the time after winning a round, so I get accidental buttons all the time.
It's all the swag. You just gotta accept it. Yo, he jumped, dusted, and caught? Soul's on something else right now. He's definitely looking mad good.
Vandal getting the counter hit confirm. Don't let them out! No, getting run up thrown. RC to end it. Good stuff from Soul. Vandal, I think, is playing a little bit too passive here. You don't really want to give Kai the room to do this spacing game.
Yeah, you can definitely end up in the rough situation here. Got the counter hit, tried to get the dust, just trying to keep Soul locked down in this corner, but pushing far slash too many times. It has 3 hits, it's a big slow button, but yo, no pressure, not working out. Getting back through, and you gotta remember, Guilty has some fast throws.
2 frames. Round throw is a very scary thing, but there is 8 frames of throw invulnerability on your wake up. You don't always have to take that throw.
Okay, jumping over the 6P, you gotta make sure you time those right on the flip kicks, otherwise you'll get hit. Gonna PRC, can definitely do the super or just apparently kill, not have to think about it too much. Half circle back forward for that super could be a little bit of a problem, so that's gonna be game 1 to Vandal. That
later on was looking a lot better for Vandal, decided to start pressing a lot more buttons when they had Soul in the corner.
Yeah, Geo is really just about closing that gap and making sure that you can get to your opponent. And when Soul's able to run the game and run this corner, it looks difficult. But all it takes 1 to 2 counter hits, and Vandal's right back into it. Dashing up, getting in. Look at this.
Yeah, something really important with this game, as mentioned before, is that dashing carries momentum on buttons. Giovanna has one of the best dashes in the game, so she can heavily take advantage. Like that right there. Dash up S gives it huge range.
Nice tech.
Nice tech, man.
Yo, absolutely. That was one where I didn't even see it coming, so that was great. Jab anti-air is definitely going to give Soul an answer back into this round and keep themselves safe. No, dude. The no recovery on it is ridiculous.
It's not even not only no recovery, it's plus on block.
Why?
She needs it.
Yo, she needs it. Yo, facts. Get LI going. She needs it. Yo, gonna get ball break here?
Positive bonus. That should give Vandal 50 meter to play with. Soul not even fearing anything, just running up, continuing their game.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you want to do, right? You can definitely express yourself in how you disrespect your opponent. And I feel like that's sometimes a must. But look at this full meter for Vandal that's going to give some extra damage. So you got to be extra careful now if you're Soul. But yo, hitting the big counter.
The PRC to bait the burst. Smart stuff. Going to get the wall break of their own.
Yo,
oh, it traded. No way.
No. The super's not invincible. That's its only downside.
Flip kick trading with dive kick, giving the round to Soul.
Dude, I've had a trade with 6Ps. It sucks. Vandal definitely given this space, trying to find the opportunity to go in.
Flip kick trading again, but this is going to be in Soul trade again.
You're pushing buttons, getting trades all over the place. Vandal trying to close the gap with the little spiral arrow to go forward.
Which spiral arrow is also plus. Giovanna, I think, has the most plus frames of any character right now.
Listen, she needs it.
Spiral arrow is plus, flip kick is plus, air dive kick super is plus.
Yo, Dude, the King Plus is a little messed up. Crosses up at certain ranges, so you gotta be careful. And yo, gonna hit the dust. This can kill.
No burst. Yep, dead.
And that's it. Another 2-0. Yo, my goodness. Listen, if you can start your offense in this game, you can be super duper scary, and that's exactly what Vandal did. Even though Soul was getting their own stuff started throughout it, it was just non-stop when Vandal got the pressure going, right? It's either the mix-up or a throw or, you know, jump into super.
Yeah, you want to be a bully in this game. You are heavily encouraged to be a bully because that's how you get your meter. As Chris Chaos had mentioned to a lot of us in low kick, they call it tension for a reason. There is negative penalty for a reason. It is tension because when you move forward, you are building tension between you and your opponent. Like, it's the smartest thing I could ever think of. And I didn't even think of it.
It's really good diction or verbiage around what all of this is, right? Negative penalty for backing off and being passive, tension for going forward, the positive bonus when you're super aggressive throughout a round, right? You can get positive bonus without a wall break, which doesn't happen a lot because by the time you've been that aggressive, you've usually killed somebody or broken a wall.
Yeah, it's not rare at all, and I'm not sure if it is still a way in this game, but in previous gears, if you were able to just block or IB a lot, that would build tension pulse, as it's known, which is essentially what positive bonus is, where you get more meter faster.
I don't think I've seen enough people instant blocking.
It's hard,
man. How new the game is, right? Like everything.
Well, instant blocking is a 2-frame window. Don't forget that. 2 frames.
It's 2 frames, and you don't know, like, oh, how long is this move going to take to come out from when I see it or something like that. So it's a whole other problem with that as well. So it's a real strange situation to try to be instant blocking. But instant blocking in this game also, like, negates so much of the pushback. It's super scary.
Yeah, I'll be honest, every time I've hit a just block, it's been by accident. Every time I try to just block, I get hit because it's only a 2-frame window.
Yeah. So it's always something super interesting. I'd rather just FD and push somebody out because I don't have to think.
And on top of that, there's also instant FD, which I believe Seth equated, or it was maybe Loki, another community gear player, who equated it to push blocking in Marvel, where, like, yes, FD pushes out, but if you instant FD, it will push them even further. So that's another thing to look out for.
Yo, that is so many layers to this game. Definitely not any less complicated than other Guilty Gears. There's definitely plenty of room to develop this meta and everything that's going to go into this game. Like, this is only the tip of the iceberg. This is only the end of week 2. So it is flying fast.
And that's something really important that even I have to remind myself of. So I'm banned out of beginners. I cannot enter this tournament. I'm too good because I've been playing fighting games for 12 years. I do not qualify as a beginner. I'm not a good Guilty Gear player, but I would not be good in here. But even I have to remind myself that sometimes I get washed online, and it's by autopilot. You know, I'm not the best player by any means. I've actually just had Mei /slash me into Tostugeki and win. I'm not great, but it's really important to remember. If you get autopilot like that, it's week 2. You do not have to be the best in 2 weeks. Some of the best players are not the best in 2 weeks. It will take them months or even years. It's not a race. It's just about getting there. And I really need to remind myself. That's been my mantra when I get washed. It's okay. We're all learning. Yeah. It's all brand new.
Daigo for the first few years of Street Fighter V was just losing a lot, right? He could still qualify and make stuff, right, off of like points and stuff because he would make, you know, top 16s or top 8s, but we didn't see Daigo winning a lot of events until, you know, later in Street Fighter V's career, and that is what it takes sometimes, right? It's just that dedication and practice to stick with it, to find your flow, right? It is going to be different for every single player. What works for one person might not work for you, right? The speed one person learns is not going to be the speed that you learn at, right? It's always going to be different, and comparing yourself against others in those situations is not healthy, I would say. It's definitely, you have to look at and think, what is the next best step for you, right?
And I would say one of the most important things you can do as of right now is get yourself into the community. So the Low Kick Discord is always open to everybody. We have a Guilty Gear tab. You can ping that tag, so everyone who has Guilty Gear, you can say, hey, can we get some games in? And I guarantee you at least one person will say yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And to Dax plays in chat saying if this is for beginners, useless shine up, definitely do that, man. It is what we are looking for with this tournament series, to give people that time and room to grow, without having to worry about going 0-2 every tournament, right? You're playing against other new people.
Absolutely. And playing against people your level is very important. And I have to say big shout outs to Dynamite, LK Dynamite, also known as Dan. He has done a lot of work for this tournament, in that he does pruning for the bracket. So if he sees someone like myself trying to enter, he will say, "You're too good at fighting games. You have too much experience. Get out of here. This isn't for you."
Yeah.
We're trying very hard to cultivate a tournament for players who have never played a fighting game or barely played fighting games to get in there and have fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking at who's going to have fun here. We're going to have Soul back on deck, but they're not playing the Kai anymore. Looks like they're playing, I believe, the Ram against Execution.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
I've played against a little bit of both these characters. I really don't like fighting Ram, but
nobody likes fighting Ram right now.
Nobody likes fighting Ram right now. But not knowing some stuff about Anji is definitely more terrifying in certain situations.
Absolutely.
Like, I know what the Ram is going to do every single time, right? I can find the answers. I have no idea what Anji does.
So as of right now, we're seeing very common Ram things of just pressing far slash and doing, I think it's jump S, that very long poke. It's very terrifying because they basically have no hurt boxes.
Ooh, but you can't get parried, but still pros afterwards. So
Execution finding those landing frames, getting the throw. PRC!
Finally found the low. Yo, my goodness, got the parry again, and we're just going in here. Getting hit, and the bird.
Butterfly confirms.
Nah, didn't get the full hit, and the YRC came out on that block to give Soul a second chance.
Unfortunately, if Execution had done the Nagiha low, that would have been a kill rather than the overhead, but oh no, not quite fast enough. You can actually run up and punish Laser Super if you're quick enough about it.
Yeah, you also have to make sure if you're on low enough life that you are doing that super, because it will chip you out.
Both players taking it slow.
Yeah, F-being will negate that change is super important.
Soul not quite close enough to the wall for the sword explode. The wall splat. Execution getting a throw. Oh no, reverse throw. Putting Execution back in corner, throwing the swords, getting all the pressure. Oh no, trying to press through.
Yeah, both of these characters are ones with Rekka, so you got to be careful on when you're pressing during those strings and stuff like that.
I think he just parried a throw. I think Execution just parried a throw. I didn't know you could parry throws.
I'm not sure either, but definitely got another parry and the full kill that time. That's going to give game 1 to Execution.
So I think Soul needs to calm down a little bit. I know Ram has very good buttons, but Execution is actually pretty on point with the anti-airs and the throws.
Not coming down.
All right, never mind. Just run throw. I can respect it.
Yo, dash up throw around the start. Yo, catching the throw whip, right? Nice burst there from Execution, building some space.
Yeah, because unfortunately for Anji, if Anji is to parry far slash, he really can't do anything. Because Ramlethal will be too far for him to really press anything.
Yeah, and that can definitely be a little bit better. Definitely rather parry and get out of the pressure than to eat it anyway. So it's definitely something that I'm glad Execution is still going for. But yo, jump over the throw, Soul's out of this corner situation, but still getting DP.
Soul has
going in.
Yeah, I was gonna say Soul has no burst. Got to hold all of this.
Yeah, I think built the YRC right at the very end to maybe get out of blocks, but yo, parry round start. You know every Ram player likes to push far slash round start.
Oh, here we go. Oh no, misses the combo that could have been a wall splat.
Yo, my
all the parries.
Oh, look, perfect spacing for far slash. I'm parrying it every time. It's my turn, baby.
Soul, you gotta start baiting some of these. Here we go. Here's a conversion. Not quite gonna get a splat.
Whipping the throw here. Bursting just didn't want to get comboed there on the 2 jabs. still locked in this corner, and this is where Ram can be most explosive, pun intended, but the throw is going to happen. What's the mix? YRC?
Smart stuff to run it through to grab the FD blocking, but wake up parry super. I don't know. Oh, no, that is going to kill. I thought that might have just left a little sliver, but I do think Ram is a character with a slightly worse defense modifier.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't surprise me. So Execution's going to move forward into loser side of top 8. So big congratulations to him or her or them. I do not know their pronouns. I apologize. But we got to keep this moving. I mean, that was such an excellent kind of understanding of where Soul wanted to push, Far Slash. It was literally every single time they returned to neutral and Far Slash could hit, Far Slash was coming out and parried every single time. Didn't matter if it was going to give a lead to a hit or not. It was definitely just to scare Soul into not doing it.
I do think Execution could have run a little bit more Fujin mix-up game because Nagiha is pretty much safe for most characters. It's -6, but the pushback is pretty incredible. The overhead hop mix-ups, they're there, and it's a really big knowledge check for anybody facing you. The onus is not on the defender to, stop Anji. Or I'm sorry, it's not on Anji to stop themselves from doing it. It's the defender's job to stop Anji from doing Anji things.
Yeah, it's really that's how the entire game is. It is everybody else's responsibility to deal with your offense. It's never the other way around. But we're going to get Tannenboom back on with their Milia against Gimme Elfelt is there.
All right, I do not appreciate this name. I don't know. I will not give you Elfelt.
Listen, I play Geo, I play Elfelt, I play Cliff. Everybody hates my characters.
I need a new commentator with me. I don't commentate with Elfelt players.
I do not associate with Elfelt players.
And then again, I can't really say anything because I'm playing Soul and Strive. But to my defense, I've been playing Soul since I picked up Guilty Gear. It's not my fault. Daisuke said we gotta make Soul top tier.
In my defense, I only play new characters in every single game. So, I definitely, I really appreciate the name. I believe that the tag is actually Sky Blaze, but definitely a great tag. I love the name. Keep the energy going. And he's still playing a Valentine, so it works out. The name tracks.
All right, so here we go. Oh no, missing Bad Moon. I was gonna say we are getting to see Tannenboom show off their knowledge of Millie with this wall spot combo. Because unfortunately, in the last match versus Mega Primus, there was basically no room to breathe.
There was no wall breaks for Tannenboom. But here we go. That could have been one for Skyblaze, but the burst gonna come out.
And I'm actually surprised because it is incredibly difficult to burst Ramthal's combos. A lot of it is burst safe.
Yeah, it's just by the nature of how far those normals go without any, hurt box to them. But finally, the burst out of Skyblaze gonna get them out of another wall splat situation, but still not quite out of the woods yet.
Something I really appreciate that all these players are doing against Ramthal is hopping out of the sword explosion to not hold the pressure.
I know, I'm learning a lot here, so I definitely like to not hold that pressure anymore. And good back throw, actually taking it there for Skyblaze.
Something I will say is you have to be careful when doing that because Ramthal, if they sniff it out, she can jump about and air throw you. That is a very solid defensive mechanic for jumping.
Yeah, absolutely, but I like to jump out of the car and get out of this corner as well and hit this combo.
Yeah, this will be a splat. No burst from Tannenboom, so gonna have to eat this and give positive bonus to Skyblaze. Yep, that's Ramthal. But then again, she is hitting melee, so.
Listen, it still would have been like 50% on anybody else.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Tannenboom is now just locked down in this corner. Gotten tossed again, needs one more hit.
Yes, that was a miss. Time meaty, good throw. This is your chance to take it back. Bad Moon's gonna hit overhead. Hair Car's gonna splat, and the Buzzsaw for the break. That does extra damage, not quite enough to kill, but that is a positive bonus. Gotta run up 2K.
And had the mix ready, right? The 2K, 2D, called this the classic setup. And yo, I don't know what button that is. Is that the jump heavy slash that comes down so sharp there? Actually catching Tannenboom trying to dash under. And look at this corner pressure now, but jumping out of the sword again. You gotta find some other way to pressure there if you're Skyblaze, right? Tannenboom
on the ropes though, has burst, but holding all this pressure on. That was very dangerous, jumping over high sword, but gets clipped with a far slash on the wake up. So Skyblaze taking game 1.
Yeah, and this is, you know, just something for my knowledge. You know if Ram can RC the throw?
Do you mean the regular throw?
Yeah.
Every character can RC throw.
Duel 1.
It's definitely some room for improvement. There's been so many times Skyblaze at the end of a round, excuse me, round start DP. Sorry, I had to talk about that one.
Yep.
Not
So
sure
if
what
you,
they were looking for.
if you RC the throw and you don't do a fast RC, the explosion will pop them up for a combo potential.
Ah, there you go.
What each character can do, I don't know. I just know it's possible.
There's definitely been like low health situations where Skyblaze just needs like one more hit, and it could have been a good way to do it. But my 6P here out of Tandem trying to get the mix going, but getting
that's
clipped.
bad.
Yo, not crossing that move up.
Ramathal has no DP outside of that super, but if you eat that super, oh man, you're gonna wish you hadn't.
All right, here we go. Tandem trying to get the pressure going, but now Skyblaze, FD, you know, got that extra space, got out of it, found the throw, starts their own pressure.
I can see Tannenboom is attempting to do higher level things because during that string, Tannenboom did use the fast fall from Milia. I haven't seen many Milias use that yet.
Yeah, we definitely saw that a little bit in the Soul, but Mega Primus just threw it every single time, but got the punish, couldn't get the full combo, trying to carve back in. But good FD to get that extra space from Skyblaze, knowing these strings getting out of him.
Oh, getting caught overhead. Tannenboom got to be real careful here. Almost has 100 meter, has burst still, but any touch will be death, basically. Burst?
Yeah.
Oh no, doesn't burst.
Didn't think about it. It was the final second, and you got to burst immediately because if you're a millisecond late, you're getting hit with another button, guaranteed. So good stuff there out of Skyblaze, really just pushing buttons and finding this big damage that Ram has, which is, you know, very important to do, right? Making sure that you're capitalizing, especially mid-screen, where your swords aren't going to explode and give you the big damage. So you gotta learn how to carry and, you know, make that damage happen.
And it's really difficult for me to give a whole lot of advice for these specific players because I can see what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is very smart, but it just seems like they're lost in the match. And all I could say is just play more. All you can do is play more, because the more you get experience, the more you're going to start ingraining certain things in your brain. Like, you know, you might go back into these matches and say, man, I could have anti-aired that, or I could have Abara'd there, or I could have thrown this. And the fact that you can acknowledge that is all you need to know. You don't have to be able to incorporate that into your next game. By recognizing it, you will naturally start incorporating it into your game.
Yeah, and you can definitely do it over time. Naturally, you can try to expedite it by focusing on it, but definitely watching your own replays, going back through and looking at moments where you took damage, where there was definitely a better option for you should do. If there was a knowledge gap of being like, oh, they did this string and I didn't know how to do it, right? Watch the replay, see what they actually did, go in training mode, study up on what that actually is, or like start at least theorizing different options for it to know, okay, I pushed 6P in that situation, it didn't work, I need to, you know, maybe try 2K, you know, maybe that will go under whatever I wanted instead of trying to poke over it with 6P or something like that. You know,
or as we've been saying this entire time, maybe you just want to YRC out of it. Maybe you don't want to deal with it at all.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's plenty of options in this game. You just have to go through, and maybe there's so many that maybe you just have to take some time to actually go through them all to figure out what's going to be the best one for you.
And that's the beauty of Guilty Gear. There's so many options for every single thing. There's never one definitive answer, and especially it depends on your character. Yes, mechanically, you could say, maybe I could throw that, maybe I could 6P that, maybe I could air throw that, but your character might have some grime that they can really disrespect that stuff.
All right, but we are going to get going into top 8 now, so there's definitely going to be some lovely matches. Again, we have Guts versus Grimflash, and then Mega Primus versus Vandal on the winner side. On losers, there's Execution versus Skyblaze, and then Gansis Home versus the winner of Crow and Aiden. So definitely some hype matches that are coming your way, but I believe this means we are going to take a short break.
So everyone stick around, more hype matches coming your way.